So I got a little Joe's Witness story about Ozzy Osbourne, actually. RIP legend, amazing. I used to watch the Osbournes, and I used to listen to his music as well when I was younger, and I still do sometimes. I love Dreamer, for instance. Very beautiful song that I enjoyed listening, and a music video and stuff. But that aside, I remember my dad became a Jehovah's Witness and told me about when he became a Jehovah's Witness, he had to get rid of his old records that he had. He used to have all kinds of old records. And he told me that he had music from Black Sabbath as well. So he had records from Black Sabbath, but because he became a Jehovah's Witness, he was not allowed to have them anymore. So he got rid of them. I think he threw them away. So it was kind of interesting. And I kind of wanted to talk about it because it's perfectly in line with what just happened, that Ozzy Osbourne passed away several days ago. And very sad. Yeah, and that is my memory of Ozzy Osbourne. And related to the topic, well, I'm gonna get into the stories now about shunning.
Rock and roll!
So yeah, today I'm going to tell some stories about shunning and some stories that I found on the internet and what people think about it. I'm gonna read them and I'm gonna show them in the video as well, so you can see them. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. I passed the 300 followers now, and it's amazing, you know. I really want to do more. I'm still trying to find my content. I feel like I'm enjoying this very much, reading these stories and then talk about it. Let's go, let's do it. In the false reality they live in, shunning is just tough love. They can't seem to comprehend or compute that their religion is potentially incorrect and not everyone has to agree with them. In the perception of a Jehovah's Witness, walking away is just denying reality. They don't understand it is they who are denying reality. Jehovah's Witnesses have a hard time being shown a different perspective from someone else, and people around them should be in the same category, or else they're going to shun people. They're making people afraid of the consequences when they are not talking in their way, according to Jehovah's Witnesses and whatever. So yeah, it's kind of like, if you're not speaking the way I do and not thinking the way I do, I'm gonna push you away. I don't want you there anymore, because you need to listen to me. You have to listen to me and what I am saying. Yeah, that's not okay. I would never be able to do that. I got another one that's pretty good. Imagine if Jesus shunned like these assholes, or like these a-holes. And I think that's an interesting one, because it's a very short one. It's a very interesting one. Imagine Jesus saying, like, or Jehovah saying, like, no, you're not in my world anymore. I don't want you anymore. Shut the up, you know. Off. You're not welcome anymore. You're not my son and my daughter anymore. How would you like that? You know, and then it wouldn't be unconditional love anymore. It wouldn't be love at all. Just because you're annoying, basically, comes off as you're being annoying and you're not listening to me. You have to listen because I say so, and yeah, you're not gonna be you're not paradise worthy. You're not paradise worthy, you know? Yeah, it's crazy. I like the reaction to that. Jesus would take his whip and knock the men of the governing body off their figurative throne. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It is like very performative, like very, this is my place and you need to listen to me and to us. Otherwise, you're out, you know? And that is, I think that's not human. Another story is, by choosing not to associate is showing us kindness. Ha 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 ha. That's so like them. They used to tell me that if I did all the things, I would be happy. And when I wasn't happy, it was my fault for doing the things wrong. Ha 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 ha. They do have a way of double speaking where they say one thing and then contradict it immediately, and nobody can get upset at the flip-flopping. They flip-flop so much, they need a new light, like they need a new underwear line, okay? Watchtower thongs. So we can literally get all up in your business. Okay, I like that. It's a little goofy, but I like that because, yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses do think that they can say whatever when it's right for them, you know? That's absolutely something that I noticed. Yeah, they're flopping around, absolutely flip-flopping around, because they always want to be correct. They want to be right, they want to be correct, and they absolutely aren't. So we can afford this because this and that is happening, and we can do this because this and that, you know? It's like covering yourself under the idea of it's religious, so I can do certain things, or I made a mistake, but they're also afraid to be open about it because of the consequences, you know, and maybe the consequence is just getting out of there and actually being free from all the pain and sorrow and shame that you have felt from all the years being there, or whatever your situation have been. So yeah, someone says this love is the reason I'll never go back. Yeah, a lot of people feel like this, and no hate like Christian love. I've seen that one before about Jehovah's Witnesses, and I love that sentence, by the way. I'm not fully agreeing on that one. I'm going to be honest, I'm not fully agreeing on that one, but I do in this case, in my experience. But I know a few people that are actually good Christians and loving people. So yeah, maybe and then the Christianity is not that important in that case, but I know they're very much Christian, but they're actually choosing to be good people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay, so there's some stuff, a person reacting to a story here. Same. Imagine you have a close friend who disagrees with a decision you make in good conscience and subsequently never talks to you again because you have a difference of opinion. I do not think that that friend must really love me. I change my entire point of view for them. I'm more, that friend is pious and never truly cared for me. If they play so fast and lose with our connection, I'm better off without them. It's such false logic. It doesn't bear to any sort of subjective scrutiny. And then later on someone says, and it's actually a little bit of a different story, then you are not allowed to have contact with your own child for 50 years because he or she smoked a cigarette in the 70s. And that is something that always bugged me as well. Like, it's crazy that you did something like 35 years ago maybe, and you still have to pay for that. And such a small thing, such as smoking a cigarette in 1970, that is so crazy to me. Like, there is no, if religion contains forgiveness, if religion contains forgiveness, they're not very not very forgiving, you know. Oh, it's a hair in my eye. They're not very forgiving when it comes to people actually deciding their own things. You're not allowed to choose anything for yourself or how you want to see the world. That is not allowed. That you have to go with the flow with them, otherwise you're out, you know. The last story is about someone actually talking about a certain topic that they never mention. It's funny how they don't mention what would happen if members were to choose to keep associating with removed members. So, of course, it were people, not members, as in, you know, body parts. And someone asks here, what happens? Someone says, you run the risk of being disfellowshipped yourself. Or, at the very least, you'll be reprimanded in some way. So, which means is something that they didn't mention is that there are consequences when it comes to talking to people that are disfellowshipped, people that are shunned. They're making up consequences as well, but their consequences and their actual consequences. People leave and they can lose everything. Their whole life can be there because they're isolated from the whole world. And then they have no one anymore. Their parents are gone. Maybe their siblings are gone. Whatever, friends can be gone, uncles, aunts, anything. And then you're very alone. It can be at a very young age as well. And because you feel it's not good and it's something that you wouldn't do. Or maybe your parents joined recently and then you feel like this is not good. I don't feel good here. I feel sick. People are getting sick. People are starting drinking, using drugs, because I've seen it so many times. I've seen it in front of me as well. People are starting to numb themselves because they feel so bad about what is happening to them and how they're being treated, because they want to feel the loving energy of community and they're not feeling it because they feel like they need to compete with their peers, and that's not good, you know. And they feel like they're being treated badly by their parents. Yeah, I can talk about that as well. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about. I keep on saying like shunning is not good. Disfellowshipping is not good for a person. You're taking away someone's life under the idea of that is a loving. That is a loving idea, and it's not. It's like, imagine your child being taken away from you for no reason. That is like the most heart-wrenching thing you can possibly imagine. You know, it's that is awful. That is awful. Other people taking control of, and not just a child, but people are doing wrong for your parents, or people are, I don't know, like doing bad stuff to your siblings. Like, how do you feel? They're taking away someone that you love. But then in this case, if you're Jehovah's Witness and you're brainwashed there, nobody really seems to care. People do care. So and then also it's not that black and white, that they are doing whatever. I've seen so many, I said it before, so many stories about people are kind of half Jehovah's Witness. Nobody's really talking about that, but there are a lot of people that are half Jehovah's Witness or have been doing certain things and maybe still celebrating birthdays, Christmas or something like that, then still go to the Kingdom Hall. And I'm going to be honest, like, I love these stories because I feel like before the internet, the only experience that I had about this was my own experience in my Kingdom Hall. And now you see people that experience their own things in Kingdom Hall and have their own convictions and have their own ideas about it. And it's very great to be able to share this, and that is also the reason why I make these videos. I love that, and it's been an interesting time. It's been an interesting week as well. Yeah. Okay, let me know what you think. Have you had any experiences with disfellowshipping, shunning, and what are your views on it? Let me know in the comments. Of course, and also let me know what kind of topics do you want to see also in these stories, so I can search them up. I can make some ideas up, but it would be great if you can help me with this as well. And thank you very much for watching, and peace.